Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else, this is John Paval. I'm here with a special live report on the Vienna State Opera's new production of Smetana's The Battered Bride, which is going to be live streamed tomorrow, October 5th, Sunday, 8 o'clock in the evening, European time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast in the US, 11 in the morning on the West Coast. I'm so happy to tell you about it. This is the second week in a row that the Vienna State Opera, the Wiener Staatsoper, also as they're known in German, is live streaming a full performance of a new production of an opera. Last week it was Tosca, and people are really happy about it. I think we got 5,000 views of a report that we did on it, and that's a lot more than we usually get. So hopefully we'll get that many views for this special report on The Battered Bride, which has a really great cast of, as you can see them in the pictures, there's Slávka, Zámečníková, Paval, Breslik, Michael Lorenz, and the younger guy, Peter Kellner, in the main roles. This is an opera which was long a standard part of the Vienna State Opera's repertoire, and then they stopped doing it about 30 years ago. So they're coming back to it totally new. Now, to be completely transparent, some of the reviews have not been completely glowing. And I do not know why that is. You need to check this out for yourself and find out whether you like this version. It was originally, I don't want to mention this other thing, so often opera is like love stories, okay? Well, this is a love story. And the star-crossed lovers are played by Slávka, Zámečníková, and Paval Breslik, who are both up to the challenge and the task. But unlike many operas, it doesn't end badly. It has a happy ending. So how about that? It started out as like a two-act, sort of more like opéra comique, where you have dialogue in between the songs in the 1860s, and then it developed into a three-act form, and it took about a decade for that to happen. But it didn't really break through until it was performed in Vienna in 1892, and that's when it really took off. And I think that's why it's always been a big part of the Viennese repertoire. That was in 1892. 1893, it's in Chicago. 1895, it's in London. In New York, 1909, and onward and upward from that. And most of the early performances, especially, were done in German, because they were taking off on the experience in Vienna under the title Die verkaufte Braut. That means the bought bride. Verkaufen, to buy. Anyway, and this version is in German as well, but it's a new German translation written by Susanna Felicitas Wolf, and we're told in close collaboration with the dramaturge on the production, Sergio Morabito. So it's a new translation and a new production of an old standard for the Vienna State Opera House. So I'm pretty sure they're all very happy about it. The musical conductor is Thomas Hanus. This is the second premiere he's conducted for the Vienna State Opera. The first one was a production of Eugene Onegin, or Onegin, the way English speakers pronounce it. And the stage director is Dirk Schmedding, and this is his debut as a stage director there. So let me now start telling you a little bit about the story of this production, in such a way that I can weave into it while I'm telling it who are the singers who are performing the roles that I'm telling you about. Now, I'm not going to tell you everything about it. I'm going to tell you enough so that if you're a newcomer, you have the basic setting set for you without knowing exactly how the ending works out, although I sort of gave it away that at least it's not an unhappy ending. But it's complicated how they get there. There's a fair amount of unhappiness away. There's also a circus that comes to town. I'll tell you about that in a minute, too. So let me start taking you through the story. And those of you who already know the story, don't worry, I'm not going to get bogged down in a lot of details you already know. I'm just going to say enough to then introduce each of the singers and then tell you a little bit more about them, which is something you might not know. Okay, so how do we start out here? All right, we start out with as the phrase goes, star-crossed lovers. And in this case, it's the two lovers are Marenka and Yenik. And the two of them are in love with each other, even though Marenka doesn't really know Yenik very well. But they're very much in love with each other. And so they want to, she wants to marry him. Okay, now so then I got to tell you about Slávka Zámečníková, who is playing the role of Marenka. And I think I have a separate photo of hers that I can put up for you so we can have that on screen while I'm talking about her. Okay. This is Slávka Zámečníková. She's had success with the Vienna State Opera, with the Berlin State Opera, with the International Opera Festival in Wiesbaden. And since she debuted with the Vienna State Opera in 2020 as Norina in Don Pasquale. Then she was Poppaea in a new production of L'Incoronazione di Poppaea. Then she was Eurydice in a new production of L'Orfeo. They kept putting her in new productions. She's also played Nanetta in Falstaff, Musetta in La Bohème, Micaela in Carmen, Donna Anna in Don Giovanni, Servilia in La Clemenza di Tito, and Sophie in Werther, which she also played at the Prague National Theater. She's appeared in some of these roles at the Berlin State Opera too, the Nanetta in Falstaff, the Don Giovanni, and also the role of Dirce in Medea. And later this year, she will be making appearances at the Paris National Opera and at the Théâtre des Champs-Élysées. So this is a top soprano who you can count on to turn in a nice performance for you in the leading role. And beside her is another top performer, Pavol Breslik. So let me put up Pavol's picture for you too. I meant to just replace that instead of, where is Pavel? Here's Pavol Breslik. There's the man. Pavel has been around a lot longer. He's been around since, for about 20 years. Back in 2005, he was already named Young Singer of the Year by Opera World magazine. Well, the German version, Opernwelt magazine. He was in the early 2000s, he was with the Berlin State Opera, Unter den Linden. And then starting in 2006, he just became much more independent. He's sung Lenski, Nemorino, and Alfredo for the Vienna State Opera. In Bavaria, he's sung Gennaro and Lucrezia Borgia, Edgardo and Lucia di Lammermoor. He sung Lenski and Onegin at the Covent Garden as well. He's also sung Ferrando, Don Ottavio, and Tamino there. And, he's been with the Paris Opera, the Lycée in Barcelona, La Monnaie in Brussels, the Berlin Opera, the Salzburg Festival, etc. And for a while in the teens, he was in the ensemble of the Zurich Opera House, which is a lot of, I get the impression a lot of mature artists like to check in there. So, and he has had enough of a career that he was, that the Bavarians gave him the honorary title of Bayerischer Kammersänger, Bavarian chamber singer. And this season, he'll be doing Don Ottavio and Don Giovanni for the Vienna State Opera. He'll also, I think what's he going to be doing? He'll be at the Bavarian State Opera doing Gennaro and Lucrezia Borgia, Belmonte and Die Entführung aus dem Serai. And he'll also be in Die Verkaufte Braut, the Bartered Bride, for the Bavarian State Opera, meaning in Munich. And then he'll also be at the Semperoper in Dresden. So these are your two lovely performers. And I think I have a picture of the two of them together on stage, which also gives you, an impression of the kind of lighting and costumes they're going to be using in this show, in this new production. There they are. That's Marenka and Yenik together. So they're in love with each other to start the opera, and we find that out right away. Okay, but the thing is that Marenka, she's young, she has parents. Her parents are Krusina and Ludmilla. They're played by Franz Xaver Slecht and Margaret Plummer, for those of you who know opera and opera singers. I don't have time to give you all the details on them, but Krusina, her father, he's a farmer and he's in debt. So he's looking to pay off his debts by marrying off his daughter through a marriage broker. And the marriage broker's name is Kekal. And he's played by a younger performer compared to some of the others, a lot younger than Pavel Breslik, and his name is Peter Kellner. He's been active for about 7 years as a singer. He's a bass baritone, and well, from that picture, he looks to me like the kind of guy. I know it's hard to judge just from a photo, but who'd make a good marriage broker, you know. And in a moment, I'll tell you, he has somebody picked out right away for them. But anyway, and it's got to be a young man who comes from a wealthy family. So he's got to find the son of someone from a wealthy family. He's Slovakian, and he got his first training in Slovakia, but then he also was at the Mozarteum in Salzburg. 2018, he won the Independent Opera Fellowship at the Wigmore Hall Song Competition, and then he won several other prizes that year, including the public prize at the International Mozart Competition. So it was a good year for him. And the following year, 2018, 2019, they took him in at the Wiener Staatsoper, the Vienna State Opera Ensemble. This summer, for Vienna, he'll be playing Theseus in A Midsummer Night's Dream and gang member number 1 in a new production of Hense's Das Verratene Meer, with Simon Young in charge of that production. He does a fair amount of concert singing. He had major success at the Royal Opera House as Colleen. He also played Ratcliffe and Billy Budd at Covent Garden. He sang Papageno and the Magic Flute at a couple of those, at a Spanish and a Italian opera, the Teatro de la Maestranza in Sevilla, in Spain, and the Teatro Lirico Giuseppe Verdi in Trieste. And before he joined the Wiener Staatsoper opera, he was with the Graz Opera and sang a bunch of different roles there, and I'm not going to go through all of those details for you. So this is Kekal, played by Peter Kellner, and he already has picked out the younger son of a wealthy landowner to be the wedded husband of Marenka. So let's talk about the guy that's coming in to sing this role for you. It's Michael Lawrence. He has sung for the Vienna State Opera before, so this is kind of a return engagement for him. He started out as a trumpeter. Like 20 years ago, he was the principal trumpeter with the Berlin Symphoniker, and then he shifted to singing, and within a couple of years' time, he got himself into the Zurich Opera House opera studio, and then they took him into the ensemble in the early teens. And so from 2018 to 2020, he joined the Vienna State Opera Ensemble after a number of years with the Zurich Opera House. But since 2020, 2021, he's gone independent, freelancing, which means he's good enough to live off of that. And he's sung in Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, the Salzburg Festival, Paris Opera, La Scala in Milan, the Deutsche Oper Berlin, the Amsterdam Opera Houses in Amsterdam, Geneva, Lyon, Antwerp, the Glyndebourne Festival, the Stuttgart Music Festival. The major roles that he's accustomed to playing are David and Die Meistersinger von Nürnberg, roles in Das Rheingold and Siegfried, so he likes the Wagnerian stuff. The Dancing Master in Ariadne auf Naxos, Goro in Madame Butterfly, and Joseph K. in Der Prozess. So this is as far as I'm taking you as far in the story as, okay, it starts out these two young lovers, they're in love, they want to get married. And then their parents come along, and now the father wants to, hitch his daughter Marenka off to make some money and marry her off to the son of a wealthy man or a wealthy landowner is a good match. And so he digs up Peter Kellner playing Kekal, and who picks out Vasek, played by Mikhail Lawrence. And then it starts getting complicated. I don't want to tell you all the complications because it'll ruin it for you if you're new. And if you already know it, then you know it. We don't need to bore you with that. And I've given you the background on the singers. But the thing I have to mention for the people who don't know it is, as the complications start getting worse, the circus comes to town. So hold on a second. I think I have a few photos of the circus coming to town because, well, why not? I mean, it's more of an opera comique. And so, there's the circus. And one of the wrinkles that develops is that this guy Vasek, who's been picked out as the son of a wealthy landowner to be married off to Marenka, when the circus comes to town, he develops a very heavy crush with a Spanish dancer in the circus, Esmeralda. There's also a sword swallower and a dancing bear, and there are plot twists involving the dancing bear too and the sword swallower. So then Vasek's interest in marrying Marenka is diminished by the fact that he's got a thing for this Spanish dancer. So, and meanwhile, the circus is in town, and all of that is going on. So it just makes for a somewhat uproarious experience altogether, and so many different possibilities for carousing and amusing and entertaining you all around the theme of, can these two young lovers who start out just very naively being in love with each other and wanting to get together, can they win out? And wasn't it the theme of the Austro-Hungarian Empire that Amor vincit alla, love conquers all? Maybe that's why they liked this opera so much in Vienna, and it was such a hit. But we all want love to conquer all. So anyway, that's what's coming up for you on Sunday evening at 8 o'clock European time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast in the U.S., which is 11 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. The Vienna State Opera, or Wiener Staatsoper, live streaming their new production of Smetana's The Battered Bride. Show up or blow up is what I say. If you're an opera lover, you don't want to miss this. The terrific thing about it is this is available to you absolutely free of charge. They don't charge you anything for enjoying it. And let me just put this in this little pitch for you to watch it live and tell you what, when you watch a live stream production, you're part of a social event. There's the remote audience, there's the in-person audience, there's the living, breathing artist pouring out their hearts, minds, and souls to inspire you, to uplift you, to entertain you, to show you a good time. Now, this is a social event that we all share together. If you watch a recording of it later, that's completely different. And that's like reading a book by yourself in the corner. There's no audience. You're not sharing this with any audience. And the performers, well, they've gone fishing, they're visiting family, whatever. The last thing they're thinking about while you're watching the recording is you. No, they don't have anything to do with you anymore. So I think there's something precious about these social occasions, which we are able to expand beyond the performance halls into the entire global audience as far as it can go. And our vision is a day when it's not hundreds watching a live stream or even thousands watching a live stream, but hundreds of thousands or millions tuning in to watch these live streams, and then see what impact that has upon us as people sharing the planet when we are all vibrating or experiencing these same moments of truth, beauty, and love. Okay, I'll let you go now. That's the end of my speech. But one more thing I want to say, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like the video. If you're watching on any of our other platforms, please follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and or LinkedIn. And we will continue to make sure that you get more than 1,000 live links to live performances online in the coming year. No other outlet, content creator, or service can make that promise to you. We did that already in our first year. We're in our second year of service now, and we're going to end up with more this year than we did last year. So if you want to know more about live streams of operas, orchestras, chamber music, etc., ballet, theater, this is it. Ciao for now, and enjoy the opera.